Hello there, Noble fans. Danny here for Noble Chairs UK. I'm with the lovely 5UB, aka Stephen Levitt.
Hey guys.
So you may have seen that Stephen, last time he was on camera, went to town on a... he literally tore the competition a new one, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I used this saw, which actually we're not going to use today. But if you saw in the last video, we actually used this and tore this lovely fella down.
And here it is, Gary's poor old chair. It didn't see very much use when it came to the slashing and the stabbing, but we realised during the demolition of said chair that there's quite a difference in durability and quality.
Yeah, like when we clearly showed how easy this was to damage and tear apart, we started getting questions actually about Noble chairs, and it felt like that people thought we were hiding something because we obviously damaged that one, but we stopped here. The reason for that is it has actually got a metal frame, and this saw...
Nice meme there, Steve, nice meme.
It has a metal frame!
It does indeed have a metal frame. It's got a metal frame!
But yeah, we physically couldn't cut any further. That saw could not go through the frame, so we're going to do it a little bit differently. I think we're going to go a bit more surgical. We're going to use the trusty knife to just sort of tear it down piece by piece and see what's underneath.
So what we need, Steve, is another specimen to stab and slice up to compare against Noble loveliness. So, what have we got today? Good old Milhouse. Let's see if it all comes up Milhouse, or if Milhouse just comes tumbling apart. Ta-da! So Stephen, we've got the assembled Milhouse chair, one of the top sellers from Amazon.
Yep.
Highly rated.
Yeah, it's very popular on there. I guess we got to put it to the test and find out.
Let's see how our adversary stacks out. So, here we go. So the first thing I noticed when jumping into the Milhouse is just how flimsy these armrests are. From the minimal amount of force I'm actually applying to the armrest, it's very, very wobbly. It doesn't feel that kind of safe and secure at all. And again, like, just because there's no points of articulation or adjustments, this might not fit your exact body type. So as I'm sitting here, it's comfy enough, but for people with longer arms or a longer torso, it may be quite a bit more uncomfortable, to say the least.
I noticed there's no headrest either. Like, this is meant to be the headrest.
Oh, of course, yeah.
But if you lean back, that doesn't seem very ergonomic to me.
I'm going straight off. The first thing I noticed just on the bottom of the chair base is the jutting out foamy bit here. There's a sizable bit of foam jutting out from the chair itself, which kind of makes, gets your legs into a kind of groove like that, which is not the most comfortable thing in the world.
So the backrest itself isn't adjustable, but the actual ergonomics of the chair, there's no adjustment. You can't have it up or down, really.
That's the main thing. I mean, like, just because of my natural resting place, it's like, it's really not keeping my back straight or like me in very good posture.
Like, you're not extremely tall like me.
No, I'm a hobbit in the scheme of things.
And it's so low, like there's nowhere to actually put your head.
So you've got the up and down lever here, which is obviously your up and your, but no points of articulation or adjustments for the back itself. So you've just kind of like
fixed in that position.
Yeah, and as default, it does have a bit of a lean on it itself. You're gonna have to catch me if I fall here, Steve, but with a little bit of a lean, I can kind of feel a bit of chair kind of like almost coming apart a bit. Like, I can just feel a lot of like a bit of give in the bottom here. And again, the arms just feel like, whoa, feel like I'm on a bit of a roller coaster here. So, we've got our lovely new Milhouse built. To what capacity we don't know, so we need to bring in the reigning champion, the indestructible epic, and also Stephen.
Hello.
Hello.
What we're going to do today is we're going to have a different approach. We're going to use a knife and we're going to cut the chair into 3 pieces. So that way we can see the 3 layers of chair. We can see the actual material, so the actual covering, and then the foam, and then the frame. And we just want to compare them both to see what similarities or what differences they have.
Let's see what Milhouse is made of. So just peeling back the headrest material here, it's very, very thin, quite stretchy to it as well. And when it came to like actually slicing through the material, it was just
it was easy,
not
like
an
butter.
issue at all. I think the only thing you had an issue with was the stitching itself.
Yeah.
Cool, so we've removed the skin layer from the middle of this chair. So the first thing that we encountered was a very thin bit of PU leather covering the top. The headrest itself is a solid bit of foam. Wouldn't necessarily call it memory foam, but
Yeah.
it is a solid piece of foam. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got him. So we've got to the core of Milhouse, Stephen, and we're greeted with, well, what are we greeted with?
A lot of wood, surprisingly. I find it weird that something that's supposed to be ergonomic is just made out of wood.
So the foam itself is a layer of this kind of like corrugated, recycled foam here, so it is compacted together, but quite easily over time that will break down and just fall apart.
And I think over time as well, the way it's sort of corrugated and just pushed together, it will just soften up and get looser, and it will just end up being flat, and then you'll just be sitting on this wood basically.
A lot of cheap flimsy materials, a lot of cheap non-cold cut foam just stacked on top of each other. We've got some very shaky armrests, and all in all, ultimately a wooden base, which is really not what you want for a gaming chair. So I think we should wheel over the Epic and find out what the Noble difference is. Ta-da!
Let's talk a bit about the specification of the chair then. So as you can see, the chair is a lot higher. For example, I'm quite tall. If I sit here, there's actually somewhere to put my head. I can rest my head back. Obviously, if I have the cushion, it's even better.
Which is something that I didn't have on the Milhouse whatsoever.
Of course,
Even
yeah.
as like a
You're like
a short
bending back
person.
like this. So yeah, you have got the better support there. Not only that, the armrests are fully adjustable. They can go up and down, back, forth. You can even rotate them in. And this is the same with all Noble chairs. It also has the recline functionality where you can actually bring the chair all the way back like this. This is something that Milhouse didn't have. So you can adjust it to whatever sort of angle you want it, which is brilliant.
As much as it pains me to say this, and as much as it pains you, we're going to have to cut this Noble chair up.
Okay, and it is for these guys too. You want to see what's actually
You
what the
wanted
chair
this.
is made of, so let's do it.
Show them what they're made of. So peeling back the initial layer of the chair, it instantly feels just a hell of a lot more thicker and a hell of a lot more premium feeling compared to the good old Milhouse.
Yeah, so the covering's great, and there's one thing I noticed when you peel that back actually with the foam. You'll notice that it's all one piece. The other chair, it just had multiple patches of foam, whereas this is actually like it's fused to the actual chair itself.
So we've just cut a bit of the main back body of the chair and a bit of the side panelling as well. As we pull it away, we get to see a bit more of an in-depth look of the reinforcements of the top layer of PU leather. So you've got these massive great metal rods that seek to keep the chair in its intended shape.
It's quite cool actually, as you can see where the rods were.
Oh yeah, of course.
So we've kind of pulled it back and the rods were clearly made in the foam, which I think is quite unique, whereas the other one had foam layered on top of wood. You can clearly see that this is all like fused together.
If I now pull this bit of the section up here, we're encountering quite a bit of resistance. Yeah, the rod itself is embedded within the cold foam, so the Epic's one sturdy chair. I think the key difference here is, as we're tearing this apart, it's actually fused to the steel frame itself, not just on top of each other. It's tiring work, isn't it, Steve?
It is, yeah. This is not going to fall apart anytime soon. If you're having this, well, this has already been around for 2 years in the office, and you can see the quality of it is still there. It's not worn down.
Oh yeah.
See how thick it is as well. Like, these are chunks of foam that's just coming out of the chair. You can see that it obviously does have a metal frame. The foam is really hard wearing. We've got a strong metal 5-star base as well, which means it can support weight up to 180 kilograms. So if you're big in size, then Noble Chairs is probably perfect for you. It's suitable for big and small, to be honest with you.
As vouch for that.
Yeah. Whether you're tall, whether you're short, whether you're large or small, yeah, Noble Chairs is for you.
Shall we wheel in Milhouse and just have a quick final compare and contrast between the two?
Yeah, it'd be good to see them side by side, definitely.
Well, there you have it, folks. We're down to the nuts and bolts of these two chairs. You've got the Milhouse straight from the top sellers of Amazon, and the you know it, you love it, the Noble Chairs Epic series. Steve, I don't know if you want to go through a few of the key differences you found through tearing down these bad boys.
I think the 2 main points is ergonomics and also durability. So, as we covered already, is the ergonomics of the Noble Chair has so much more adjustability in terms of not just the armrest but also the back. And not only that, it obviously comes with the cushions as well, so you have the lumbar support and the neck and head support.
The shape itself is almost curved to your body as well.
It is, yeah, and it's obviously taller, so people like me that are 6'3" can sit in this, but also
5'3".
5'3", there we are. So we got the 2 different height differences to compare. Whereas this one, I would struggle to sit in comfortably.
I think even for myself, I felt veering from my life a little bit just because of the small proportions of the chair and the general kind of like ergonomics built into it already is not the best.
There we are, so that's the ergonomics, and honestly I don't think a wooden chair is ergonomic. I don't think there's much thought or...
Of course, just because wood can deform over time and it's not the biggest, the most rigid of materials to begin with.
I would
anyway.
imagine over time it could warp or it could even snap, I don't know. Whereas a metal frame, you know it's going to last, you know it's going to stay that same shape, and also the foam is fused into the frame as well. The second point is also the durability. I think it's clear, we don't really have to explain this, but just by looking at the 2 chairs you can tell that one is definitely more durable than the other.
So the key difference, Steve, in my eyes is the foam material itself.
Yeah.
As you can see, what the foam mainly consists of the Milhouse, it's almost like repurposed foam, just kind of like mashed together.
And even when tearing it down, that was so much easier to just rip out, whereas with this Noble chair, you could tell it was a quality chair. You had to literally rip it to pieces. I think my hand's actually still red. I'm trying to...
I think when it comes to the slicing as well, especially when it came to the foam, like the foam didn't even really slice.
No, like you can see here, it's just like we have to hack at it, whereas that would just slice nicely.
Oh, and not forgetting the actual material itself that it's made out of.
Yeah, so the covering is a lot thicker. even the cover in here, there's nothing holding it, it's holding shape and it's just loose there. It's a lot thicker. Whether you're sitting down with keys in your pocket, or even if you're just using a chair for a long period of time, getting up and sitting down on the chair, it's clearly going to have some sort of friction against the material, so you do know that this one is actually going to outlast this one. If you want to see it for yourself, you can try them at events. We're always at events all around the world, whether it's EGX or Insomnia in the UK, all the way to Computex in Taiwan, TwitchCon, E3, we're everywhere. So just try it out for yourself.
Well, don't know about you, Steve, but I definitely learned what the noble difference is when it comes to quality of gaming chairs.
Oh yeah, when it does come to quality, you can't cut down a noble chair.
And what a note to end it on. Thanks for joining us today, guys. If you're not already following us on social media, what are you doing? It's at Noble Chairs on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Stay tuned for more cool content, lots of cool events, everything new that's coming out of the Noble Chairs world, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.